The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid-Carolina Service Company.
Mid-Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today. This episode of Hilltop Glove Podcast is brought to you by the Simon Marketing Agency, turning ordinary business into extraordinary one since 2020. Simon James and his team do the hard work of attracting new customers so you can focus on making your business exceptional. As a brand marketing expert, Simon specializes in creating a unique and unforgettable identity for your business. From generating awareness to captivating content creation and strategic advertising, Simon Marketing Agency has you covered. Elevate your business today. Give them a call at 843-942-8880 or email them at simon@simon.com. Visit them at www.simonmarketing.agency. Make sure to follow them on Instagram at BrandSimonTV.
This episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Bob's. Bob's is a Columbia-based retailer of over 100 Black-owned products from 20 Black-owned businesses. Bob's offers a wide range of items from household cleaning, cosmetics, and everything in between. With every visit to Bob's, you support Black-owned businesses, giving them the opportunity to grow and establish connections with our community. Bob's is located inside the Noma warehouse at 2222 Sumter Street in Columbia, South Carolina. Visit their website, shopbobs.com for in-store pickup or to find out more. Bob's can also be found via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at We Shop Bob's. When you stop by, tell them the Hilltop Glove sent you. Bob's brings quality Black brands to the Columbia community. The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 The Hilltop Glove Podcast.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast. In today's episode, we're excited to feature Danny Foxworth, the host of two engaging podcasts. First up, At the Plate with Danny Foxworth, where he dives into spirited conversations with individuals about their beloved baseball teams. From the inception of their fandom to favorite players and memorable moments, this series is a treasure trove for baseball enthusiasts. Additionally, Danny hosts the Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth podcast, a show delving into his personal odyssey, childhood recollections, and captivating interviews with special guests. Tune in for a blend of sports passion and personal stories with Danny Foxworth. How are you doing today?
Oh my goodness. This right here, no lie, this is a dream come true. I've been such a long time fan of y'all's podcast.
Really?
Man. Like seriously.
Yeah, that's what Kev said. Kev was like, he been supporting us from the start.
Yeah.
I'm like, from season 1, episode 1?
Yeah, because I remember when y'all had Preach Jacobs on, because that's Preach is the homie.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I mean, it's been on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw Preach Thursday night. He had an event at Nickelodeon Theater where he was like hosting. And it was so different seeing him talk on the mic. He was like, do I really need this thing? Okay, it's for aesthetics. All right.
Man.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on, seriously.
It's going to be an excellent conversation because I always like to say that when we have conversations with the quote unquote with the tribe, it's always fun.
Yeah.
It is very laid back. Our conversations that we have are very much related to what is going on with folks in the quote unquote millennial generation and just discussing our concepts of success and how we get to where we're going, but also just making connections and making sure that we have network and gives us a treasure trove of things to reach back to for information moving forward. That's the big thing about our podcast. We're regular folks.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, we're so
folks.
chill.
Yeah, we aren't hitting you with any sensational taglines. We aren't trying to find or catch you with no oops moments or seeing if you believe something a certain way. We aren't going to put nothing up on the gram or anything like that. Or hit you with, no exposure.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't even know that any of that's true. We're gonna put stuff on the gram.
See,
we're gonna dig into your brain.
Yeah, we aren't trying to catch you off guard. So if you
sure.
say anything crazy, that's on you. We didn't ask for it. We didn't ask for it. But
Now, I couldn't find a lot of information about you.
good.
Right. I don't know if you hiding your information or something. Kind of like,
Yeah. Our friend, matter of fact, just on the show, we're at Link Studios recording today. The proprietor, excellent gentleman, Mr. Holiday, took really good care of us today, made sure we had a place to come to down in our home away from home in Charleston. I can't lie, I've been down here for a long period of time before I moved back to Columbia. Of course, Tamaya has roots down here, and Mike has always come down here to visit us, and we always have a good time in Charleston. Wherever, even if we're in the Goose Creek, Somerville area, down, you know how people say anytime you get near the area, you're in Charleston, right? So, yeah, man, I love being here. I love coming to the studio. So if you need some place to record, you have a project, et cetera, that you want to work on, please look up Link Studios on Instagram.
Latson Road,
yep. And I'm not going to give away all the details yet, but you'll be able to see those if you do look that information up, and it will take really good care of you.
Yeah, great hosts here. Great host. Great
host.
Podcast studio, great recording studio.
Seriously.
All your audio needs.
But outside of that, man, we should start off with the easiest question in the world. Who or what influenced you growing up, man? Where are you from, man? How did you get here, and why are we talking to you?
Well, as far as the where I'm from part, I was born in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm a Roper Hospital baby.
Okay.
Wow.
Raised in a small town called Monk's Corner.
Okay.
It's about a half hour from Charleston.
Yeah.
I got family in Pinopolis.
Oh, see, there you go.
All the way out there. I was like, what is Pinopolis?
Pinopolis?
Monk's Corner, basically.
Yeah, we out in the woods. There's a little small community called Long Ridge.
Oh, wow.
That's where the maturation process started for young Daniel.
Excellent. Now, how was it like you're growing up out there? And I thought it was cool because I was listening to your podcast, so I know some of this information, right?
Okay.
I was listening to both of them. So you're out there in the country. Do you have any siblings?
I have an older sister.
Excellent. How much older?
She's 3 years and 1 day.
Okay.
Wow, look how you know that to the point. 3
Yeah,
years and 1 day.
she's June 17th. I'm June 18th.
Oh, wow.
Did they plan this?
What, Gemini?
I guess so.
It's a certain time of year they just start feeling frisky.
Yeah.
When your parents' anniversary yet?
That's right. That's a good point, right? Good point. When is the anniversary?
December 22nd.
December 22nd.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Gosh, you know how it is.
Yeah, she's looking at the watch. I'm like, all right, time to go.
All right, so you grew up there. Where did you go to school at? What was like your elementary, middle school, high school?
Oh, man, I started at Whitesville Elementary School.
Okay.
And great times. Great times.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
I always ask that because, sometimes those schools will grow. And
Yeah,
things
that's
change.
true. But Whitesville, I drove by there not too long ago. It's still there. I wish it was the way it was now, like it was back then. I mean, it was. When we were there, it was just like nothing but trailers. I mean, it was the pits, but
That's nice now.
Kids don't know about them trailers.
oh man,
Trailer schooling?
Yes.
With
Trailers.
the
Yes.
air
Yeah,
conditioner
y'all
hookup?
that don't know rural South Carolina, portables is like,
portable.
why would you build a new school if you could put 50 portables in the playground?
Quickly.
In the parking lot.
In the parking lot. Quickly. Easy. You can have your music room in there and everything. That's where my music room was at. When I was at Mullins, it was in a portable. I like
The portables is fun. They can be loud as hell.
Yeah.
Are you from Mullins?
See, this is what's so cool about this. You ready? I love the podcast. So, we lived in Mullins and Marion for a good amount of time. So, yeah, this is why when you talk about small, I know what you're talking about, like Nichols and backwards, you got your Lakeview and your Ladders and stuff like that. Look, I'm going to tell you a cool little story. So,
PD.
PD, man. I'm going to tell you a cool little quick little sports story before we get into bothering about other things.
Okay.
My eldest stepbrother, rest in power, he's no longer with us, but I remember he told us a story. He was coming back home. He played football and stuff like that. And we were at the house in Mullins, looking at the field. He was looking at the mice run through the little cornfield. He comes back to the house. He's all excited and stuff. I'm like, why is he excited? What's going on? And he's like, y'all, man, I ran to this guy, Raymond Felton. I said, Raymond Felton? What do you mean just ran into him? He's like, yo, this dude, he's just playing basketball, just shooting on the dirt. And I walked up to him and I was like, yo, what's going on? He's like, you want to play? And I was like, yeah, I'll play with you. And he just started booming on me out of nowhere. He was booming and hitting all the shots, etc. Man, Raymond Felton was just at his house, shooting basketball, out in the country, on the dirt, pick up ball. Just like that, play the game with him. Whooped his behind, mind you, because this is Raymond Felton. Yeah. But this was at the time when he had just finished up having the high school dunk contest in South Carolina stuff. He was just getting big or whatnot. And we had to think about it. And it was like, that was really him. And he was like, yeah, he was just outside, chilling. No problems. This is what rural South Carolina is different, y'all. We be having some talent. We have some very skilled people, individuals, and they're extremely humble. He was not weird about it or anything after he whooped his behind. Almost like Prince, offered him hospitality and everything after it was done, and they just came on home. Yeah, real talk. So I tell people all the time, I grew up, played sports with some very amazing people that I'm talking top level talents, and you just would never know that that's who they were because of how humble they were. So I always like to talk to people about South Carolina, about our rural areas and how we are raised. And so for you, just being raised in middle school and high school, what high school did you go to?
I attended Berkeley High School, but before I get into that, I'd want to say, just piggybacking on the Marion and Mullins. I got to give a big shout out to them because I did not realize how many Black Foxworths lived in that region.
Oh, yeah, this is a Foxworth town. That's why I'm asking. Yes, Foxworth City.
Sorry to go on a tangent, but I started getting a bunch of friend requests on Facebook from other Black Foxworths, and every time I accepted their request, they would DM me. Are you from Marion? Are you from Mullins? Do you have family in that area? I'm like, no, all my family's from the Low Country. Literally all of my dad's side of the family's from Moncks Corner. My mom's side of the family's from Somerville and Ridgeville.
Oh, wow. So nobody near King Street or anything like that going up towards that way?
No. Wow. Which was surprising to me. That was a mind blower.
I grew up with a bunch of Foxworths. Davis.
Sometimes it's just like one prodigal son or something. It's just like, you know what, I'm going over there. And a whole other branch of the family starts.
Yeah. But that's interesting, and that's a good point that you make. Again, some South Carolina information. We did come out of a situation where we had slavery, etc. And because I always like to tease sometimes your family name may not be a family name specifically for you, but it may be another group or somebody else who names somebody a certain name. And so that's sometimes how that happens. But that would be interesting if y'all did a DNA test just to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for real, you really had those people. So you never even been, have you ever been to Mullins?
I've been to Mullins one time.
For what?
I think it's something church related.
I was about to
when
say,
I was a
can
teenager.
I say this? Yeah, that's right. I'm not gonna lie. Those places I traveled to in South Carolina, those small areas, is because we went for church revival, Sunday fellowship service, and literally, I'd never been to these places before. Where we going, Grandmama? We going to such and such because it's the first Sunday. Okay, so we get in that car, right out there for first Sunday. First time I've ever been to this place. That's how it is for most places in South Carolina I've been to. Church.
Vocational Bible school.
Yep, vocation. Oh, I used to love vocational Bible school though.
The cookies and juice. Don't even get me started.
I enjoyed myself.
Me
fault.
too.
It was fun.
Me too.
I was in a small, you're in a small. Something. That's how you go around. You meet people in church.
Yeah.
But all right, so high school, man. So you went to Berkeley?
Yeah.
You play any sports?
Yeah. I gotta ask.
I was not athletically inclined.
What?
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm serious.
What?
I was terrible.
Look, he got that face like he's not lying. He's not lying.
I'll go back to middle school. We used to have a basketball court out on the playground whenever we go to recess. The beginning of the year, we'd pick teams so we could play pickup basketball. And, beginning of the year, I'd be either the first or second one to get picked for the team. And as the year progressed and they saw my lack of skill, my name just went lower and lower and lower down the totem pole. And it got to the point where they was like, all right, Dan, you can run with us. Yeah, I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to you.
Oh, man. His face was like, horrible.
I wouldn't have guessed that because, everybody listening with headphones and whatnot. Clearly you go to the gym. You lift, bro.
Yeah.
You lift, bro.
I lift a fork and spoon every now and then.
Good genes. This is good genes. This is good genes.
But a sports fan nonetheless.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
always interested in the local, the small town sport. I see you got your Mud Dogs hat on.
Yeah, Charleston River Dogs.
Yeah, and then I know every high school team in the whole damn state.
Yeah, dude, this is what we do. I'm trying to get the other stuff before I get to this other.
Right, he's itching. Look at him.
So of course and when I say we, I mean my brother Skip and I, we love high school sports. Mm-hmm. We love our college and professional sports, and specifically growing up in the South, between North Carolina and South Carolina, even Connecticut, one of the things that we always did is play baseball.
100%.
And what's so interesting about that, and then just growing up, is that was our first sport. Our first love was baseball. We watched baseball 24/7, went to sleep to baseball, woke up first thing every summer. As soon as we knew, all right, summer is here, first thing we do, make sure our gloves are oiled, ready to go.
Yes.
And we're out playing baseball from sun up to sun down. Even to the point when we were watching League of Your Own when we were kids. We remember the scene where the young lady, she catches the ball with her hand, bare hand. We decided
So
to
now
challenge. We don't need gloves no more. We up here turning 6'3" plays barehanded.
How many fingers you been?
Look at
Better man than me.
Look, our little hands would be bruised and stuff like that. Like, what we all out there doing? We watched this movie and the girl, she did it. So we up here, he's like, nah, y'all can't live like that.
Was it a Disney movie?
No, League Your Own. It was it a Disney film? I'm trying to think that was a
I
Disney
think
film.
it might have
Maybe
been.
a Disney film. But yeah, we were trying to look, and people were looking at us. They were watching us play. They're like, yeah, they ain't got no gloves on. What's wrong with these guys? And it's not like we didn't have the gloves. We bought the gloves and put them down because we wanted to look like the people in the. And so we grew up during that time. We were watching Barry Bonds in his prime with Pittsburgh. We were watching all these young athletic black, Hispanic, and white men play baseball. And that's what we wanted to be. We wanted to be baseball players. One of our stepbrothers, his name is Tony Clark, and he was a Tony Clark fan. See, this was so funny because his name matched. And so, of course, yeah. I mean, we collected cards. We read the books. We had groups in school where we would just follow baseball and meet up every morning to talk about what we watched that night, who pitched, how well they did, what your favorite player was doing that you modeled yourself after. We acted like them in school. This is what it was, right? And then we were talking about, it wasn't until probably 2001 that we transferred from baseball into other sports, specifically basketball and football, mainly football first and picking up basketball because after Jordan left and my brother stopped crying about Utah leaving, we could watch certain things again. We'll tease him about that later. But we start watching other sports and like our love for baseball, it's not that like it just diminished, but we stopped paying attention to just baseball because we were playing other sports legitimately. So we were playing school sports. I was football, track, and I played a little basketball, but basketball really sucked. So basically football and track. Kevin was playing, he was doing soccer, and he was really good, state, all state, and et cetera. He was playing soccer. So he was focused on those things. And so our baseball takes time, and it takes energy. And I always tell people, but I loved to still, like, on a Saturday afternoon, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to put the game on, I'm going to relax to the game. Yeah, you relax to the game? Like, yeah, I'm going to relax to the game. When we had some interviews, we actually went to an area near Charlotte to do some interviews. We actually had a really cool...
I saw that.
Backdrop,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
They were like, what? Like, between the ones, what was I doing? I was out there watching them play. They were like, yes, I watched them. I'm like, yeah, this is good. We don't have to pay. We just sit here. And we're watching the travel teams play. Yeah. And it was fun watching the travel teams, just watching the sport. And one thing that killed me was, you're getting into like the 2010s, was them talking about the lack of diversity in baseball and them being unable to find young athletes, specifically black and brown players who wanted to play baseball from the States and them having to go elsewhere outside to then bring in talent. And it blew my mind. And it was at that point that I realized, oh yeah, I done forgot about baseball.
So what do y'all think that is?
Why? You don't have fields big enough to play stickball.
That's what we played in Connecticut. We played stickball.
Why do y'all think there's such a diversity?
Because up north we'd play in the alleys. So you would get in an alley, stick, rubber ball. If you couldn't get a real, and we'll be hitting and playing stickball. Yeah. But no, that's a good question. Like, why do you? And I have to ask you this because you follow baseball. I like your story about watching Nolan Ryan in his elder years, like especially like how you became a Rangers. But now I get it. I get it. It makes sense. Why do you think that young athletic folk, and this is what I mean by like the athletes, because back then the athletes, Deion Sanders, he wanted to play baseball. Yeah. Why are we not attracted to baseball? Athletes. And this is white, black, or because I'm talking even the white athletes, they're not playing baseball. They going out here, they doing other things. They playing football, they playing soccer because you can play lacrosse, etc. Other sports. We just don't baseball anymore.
Yeah. I think it's a twofold thing. Number one, I don't think Major League Baseball really markets the black players like they did back in the 90s. And because I mean, it was nothing to see a commercial with Ken Griffey Jr. on it, or a commercial with Frank Thomas on it.
Come on,
but now
he's telling it extends.
Yeah, you don't see that now.
No.
And then number two, the black players, they're getting priced out because I mean baseball is an expensive sport to play, especially
it is.
The equipment is expensive. Then you got the uniforms,
Yep.
you know, the gloves, the bats, that all adds up, and then
Maintenance,
and then on top of that, you add the travel baseball teams. That's
That's
right,
what we were watching that day. Yeah, super
that's
expensive.
super expensive.
Yeah.
What's a regular season now? 200 and something games?
It's 162.
162.
What?
Yes.
And that's why
Look, you see, that's another thing.
Yeah.
People are like, y'all don't play that many games. I'll try to explain. Well, you play back-to-backs and sometimes
First of all,
doubleheaders.
I'm thinking about the wear and tear on my body.
No,
you're sitting down most of the time. That's the thing.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's so fun. You aren't dying.
Yeah, it's
the
a lot.
chess
It's a
match
lot
of
less.
sports.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot less strenuous than playing football.
Okay.
Yeah, or even
Oh.
soccer. Like you aren't going up and down a full 90,
Right.
just running and running
Right.
and running.
Yeah.
It's chess. It's
Okay.
chess. It's a
Like
it's a
one
mental
move,
game.
yeah, okay.
And then you do use your athleticism in spurts, and that's where you have the game changers. And this is what really kills me because growing up watching, I know athleticism matters. Why do you think the Negro League coming into normal was so big? It forced athleticism for everybody because you had your athletic players back in the day that weren't in the Negro Leagues, but they are outliers.
Yeah.
In the Negro Leagues, everybody athletic. Mm-hmm. You had to be an athletic player, and so I always tease you have your Prince fielders, you have your 300-pounders who will be in there slugging the ball, and they do their job. They get on base, and then there's just direct hitters. They come in, they do their designated hitter, come do their job, get off on first base, right? But that's cool about baseball. Everybody can have a place. You don't have to say I'm lifting 300 pounds on bench press. I can squat such and such to play baseball. No, the skinniest little pee-wee guy can go out there and he can be a great player in baseball. There's a spot for everybody on the field. It's an all-inclusive game, and that's what I always liked about baseball. I didn't have to worry about the fact that when I was little and I wasn't growing fast, I'm the smallest of all my brothers. I'm the one that didn't grow the runt. I could go out there on the baseball field and compete with everybody.
Yeah.
And it was actually good, too, that I was small because I could run bases and round bases good. I could field well and et cetera, and I could play defense. And so when I look at it now and I'm just like, wow, so we have to go all the way over to Japan to get our best players? And I'm like, it's supposed to be America's pastime. And one crazy thing about it, and I want to see if this is something that you're thinking of, that you think might be an effect on this too. There's a generational divide. And part of it is specifically in the black community, we have this group where we have an age gap. There are those folks that grew up watching the ascent of the NBA with personality and et cetera.
Yeah.
And the MLB, and I like that you said this, was with marketing. They kind of became the NFL, where the shield is everything. It's the MLB. You're on a team. The team has legacy. That's what you are. You're the team. You have a number on your back, but you may not have a name.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of the black individuals, you're like, yo, I'm trying to make a brand out of this because I want to make this something that will take care of myself and my family for generations. And I thought this was weird because in the 80s, we had names.
Yeah.
We had blockbuster names.
Yeah.
Early 90s, blockbuster names. Even up to the issue with the steroid era. Don't talk about steroid.
That's what the steroid era brought me back to
it
baseball.
brought you back. That's what I'm saying. It brought people back into baseball. I'm like, you had names. And then I think part of it, and this is me analyzing stuff because, of course, I watch baseball. I think the steroid era led to an overreaction by Major League Baseball and the commissioner to make the league more, how do you say it, reputable again. Because they felt that the steroids kind of, it's almost like right now with basketball, they're talking about trying to figure out a way to change the rules so they don't score so many points.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it's hurting people's ability to enjoy the game because a hand check is a good thing. People fail to realize there's certain ways and style in which you play the game. Baseball's big for this. Like, the rules change really matter. The type of baseball that you can use.
Yeah.
Oh, it matters. What kind of bat you can hit with. It matters. And people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh,
well, when you're
changed the game
talking
with
about
that
so
stuff.
many games, like this, and that's why, I just came back from a guys trip, and all the other guys there play fantasy baseball. They have a fantasy baseball league. I don't know shit about fantasy baseball except for what I get from them. But the nuance of stats in baseball makes it so that like you really can sit there and nerd on this stuff, and
it's the beginning of analytics. What's it baseball?
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's what fantasy baseball is it's about analytics. And now I don't actually care about a team. I just care about this list of people, and so I follow each of them. And then you have more reason to follow more games when they don't actually matter, kind of thing, too.
Yeah. And that's what I like. I thought that's a good thing because we used to do that back in the day with the cards.
Right.
So
That's what it was.
And then there were games that you would play with the cards. This stuff goes back to the 50s and 60s. And you played the games with the cards, and we have our little bottle caps. And we would follow our little players based on how many points and stuff they made. And we would look at our cards and we say, all right, based on this guy's percentage, what do we think we're going to do? We're little kids now.
Stats.
Right.
Little kids.
Right. This is essentially Pokemon.
Yeah, right.
That's what
you don't be thinking about. Okay.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
And that's
so
how
crazy.
But we were kids doing this. So I'm like, all right, so
where did the divide come from?
So like now, we don't do that anymore
Yeah.
in our community because... I mean, we
Is
had a whole...
it just that the NBA
that was the
marketed
think
to
about
it?
it. Baseball is the only league that black people created sports-wise. In the U.S., baseball. We never created a basketball league. Never had a football league that was competing with any of the... But the baseball league was.
So where's the divide? When did it happen?
I mean, you know, I'm not a sports guy, but I am a marketing guy, and I'm saying...
Go ahead. This is why you're here.
The NBA and the NFL started dumping in shitloads of money into absolutely everything.
This is you ready? And this is what's weird. And remember I was saying...
Wow.
This is why I was like, all right, something happened around 2000. Because you got to imagine, Jordan was gone, right? And so that was a big dearth for the NBA. They had to bring him back, basically. That's how big of a dearth it was. The NFL, they had just had a change in the way in which the league operated with the shield being the forefront of things and them trying to at least say, hey, we saw the NBA, they did this thing with this guy called Michael Jordan and it sold money. So let's start trying to have some faces of the league, right? Yeah. So mainly it started with quarterbacks. You had John Elway at the end of the 90s. And then coming into the 2000s, we created this guy named Tom Brady, who I love. But we created this guy named Tom Brady. You had Peyton Manning and stuff like that coming out of SEC. And so, all right, we got these faces that we're going to now promote. And I guess in my thing, I really think, and I'm not going to lie, I'm angry about this. I really think with baseball, I think they really got angry at the steroid era. And they kind of blew up the ship because of what happened with the steroid era. Because remember the home run chase? And we were watching McGuire and Sammy Sosa and then Barry Bonds. Yeah. And people literally were tuning into the games. They didn't care nothing about the games. They just wanted to see if they were going to hit.
Right. I didn't care nothing about it, but I wanted to see it. Somebody's going to talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. Are they going to hit? Are they going to hit? And growing up, like me watching baseball in the early 90s, I wanted to know what the pitchers were going to do. Mm-hmm. You get strikeouts. How good is the defense?
Right.
And keep people from scoring. And then it became a thing no, we need these people to score because we're getting eyes. And so I was like, gosh, darn it. All right, so for like the casual baseball fan, do you think it's, and they always say this, chicks dig the long ball. Do you think the issue is that we don't have the long ball like we used to have the long ball?
Ooh.
That's a big thing.
That's a good point, man.
Do we need it back? Do we? And what I mean by that is they tried to change the bats, and they tried to change the ball to make it more conducive to squat without having to have people steroid. Yeah. Do you think that baseball, and this is almost like sacrilegious to say this, do you think it's too boring for people to watch?
I'd say for the general populace, I'd say yes. Yeah. Because I know a lot of my friends that aren't into baseball. That's the reason they always give me as to why. It's like it's too boring for me.
Well, how do y'all get excited? What excites it about it for you? What's exciting?
For me, I love the fact that to me, baseball is like a game within a game. Mm-hmm. What I mean is, like the pitcher and the catcher, they're trying to figure out the best strategy to get the batter out. Yep. The batter is in the batter's box. He's trying to figure out what the next pitch the pitcher is going to throw. Like, okay, he threw me.
Can't see.
Right.
Yeah, he can't
see what they signaling.
Yeah.
Unless he's a Houston Astros player.
See, bang, bang.
I mean, he got eyes in the back. He got eyes in the back of his head.
No, there's been a lot of people cheating.
Technology. Baseball is like this. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You gotta. That's how I learned how to cheat was playing baseball.
Now that's an interesting concept too, because that is the whole point of all the little signs and shit.
Yeah. So they can't. You know what's going on. So you're right.
And they really do try to map out each other's signs and translate them so they.
But you are supposed to do it live. You're supposed to look at it, learn, because you play 162 games, right? And you're playing 2-a-days, and then you may even have a series with a team. You may play 3 or 4 games in a row. You're supposed to learn it over the time, and then as you see them through the season, okay, all right, I see the call. I know what they're about to do.
Okay.
Right, so just like football's the same thing. They're the same thing in football.
Like, you know, if my
LeBron's
glove
really good
is
at
in
it
my
in
back
basketball.
pocket, then it means that's not true. If my glove's, you know, over here to the side, it means it is. And so, you know, oh man,
Sometimes
like
people will turn.
cryptography.
Sometimes people move their caps. So they got different signs. And the thing is, you also have
False flags.
you have coaches on the field that give runners directions as well. So as you're running, base running, you know if you need to keep running smoother or if you need to pull up and stop at the
We're
base.
about to do this right here.
Yeah, they give you, and that's what's cool. Like
See,
you said,
I
it's a
didn't know
game
all
within
of
a
that
game.
strategy. Okay.
Game within a game. But specifically what I'm referring to is that the Houston Astros, they had this issue where they had trash cans that would be banged specific amount of time so that they could tell people what pitches were coming because they had a camera set in center field
And
that
you
was
could
watching
see,
and you ain't supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's straight cheating.
Look, and this was so funny about this. This is so funny. I say that, right? And I'm a Patriots fan, so but I know a little bit about cameras and sign stealing. And so that was sign stealing, as they call it. So what would happen is, all right, you got the curve coming, bang, bang. You just says bang out of nowhere twice. And I'm like, okay, cool, got curve.
Yep, I know
Wait for it.
Oh,
And so they would sit on the
cool.
breaking ball so that they could smash it.
Yeah.
And so those are things that you understand, like
like
in the
the
game
cheat.
of baseball. Yeah, you see? She likes that
There
part.
you go.
Thanks.
They won a title from it. So.
Okay.
Say it. And that's my point.
See,
it makes the game
I don't watch
fun.
baseball, but I would never have known that if you didn't say that. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's for me, like you're saying, things that make it exciting about watching the game. Or I like watching people hit home runs, of course, but I actually like the defense.
Okay.
I like watching double plays.
Yeah.
I like watching.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
telling you, because there's a certain amount of chemistry you have to get it done properly. Knowing where you're supposed to be, where the ball's supposed to go, the runners on the base, making sure you don't allow somebody to score because you don't throw it to the right place, location. You got to know where the ball's supposed to go before you get it. Watching somebody rob somebody of a home run,
Yeah.
it feels good. Feels good. I like watching that stuff. Diving catches. I like watching when a pitcher goes in and is working on a no-hitter. Oh, I'm going to sit there and watch the whole game now. Now my wife's just like, turn that off. It's time to eat. Now I'm going to let that play in the background. And you keep eating. I'm going to play in the background because he's working on a no-hitter right now. Let's see if he get it. Because there's certain things that are hard to do in baseball that when you watch somebody accomplish it, it's amazing. So you have, so in other sports, you have these things you can do. And I always think this is funny. With the NBA specifically, is that now they're trying to act like baseball, so everything is a record or everything's something new because they've been following stats now. So such and such is the first person to have a triple double on his birthday. Ain't nothing special.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like
that's
these new
special.
holidays that be popping
I'm
up.
like, that ain't
Look,
special.
if you ain't pitching a no-hitter on acid, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it.
Let's go, Doc Ellis.
My wife asked me about that. She said, this man was high on drugs and he was playing. I said, yeah, he was. He had a good game that game.
Yeah.
But she said, was he drugged up like steroids? I said, no,
No.
it wasn't
No,
steroids.
he was other
He
stuff.
it was. He thought he
in
had
the
another day to
zone.
recover, and it was like, oh shit, I got to get to the field.
Yeah.
And showed up tripping balls.
Yep.
Pitched the whole damn game. Nobody touched the pitch the whole time.
Nah, he was in a zone, literally.
Just yep. He.
So I got a quick question. If you
Sure.
guys were on a team and you had to play one position, what would it be?
I would love to play shortstop, but I'm left-handed, so that's
won't
out of the
work.
question for me. It wouldn't work.
It won't work.
Imagine
like shortstop now.
Yeah, that's
No, because here's the thing. Again, baseball there's specific things.
Yeah.
You gotta so
You
left
have to-
you are not gonna be on no
know.
shortstop. But that's the cool position.
gotta learn to
You
run
ready?
backwards.
It's like playing midfield in soccer or being a point guard in like that's what you want.
Yeah,
to be at.
basketball, okay.
that's what
I played left field in baseball, and I was garbage.
seriously?
I was so bad. Yeah.
The arm strength or what?
Just
hitting.
Just hitting. I was fine. Like I
Got the
was,
eye.
yeah. Like I was always second in the lineup, and until they moved me up to the next level, and they started throwing off speed pitches. And,
Oh yeah, you gotta talk about this. I was listening to this and I thought this was funny. But wait. Can I ask you a question before I ask you about that change up?
okay.
Why did you ever want to play third base?
It was never offered. The opportunity was never offered to me.
Wow, because usually if you get hit, you left iron, you push third base.
Yeah,
I would
they
always
would
want to
just-
play. I wanted to play center field. I wanted to run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to run.
But left field, I
Describe
think.
people.
Yeah, I think my problem was tracking the ball. Once it got to my
Yeah.
territory, I was like, all right, which way do I don't know what I'm doing.
Stop.
It was one time I caught a ball that went in the left field, and it literally was a line drive straight to my glove. So basically, I didn't catch the ball. The ball caught me.
What is it? You have hand-eye coordination. You're like
No, he can hit.
I mean, I can hit. It was just the defensive part.
Tracking. That's my favorite part of baseball.
Like when the ball is in the air and it's coming my way, and I'm trying to gauge like where I need to be
distance
in order to catch it successfully. I had a really bad.
Oh,
it was
okay.
so bad.
You could kill yourself out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people run into that fence, not ready, prepared.
That's
full on injuries. You'll be out for weeks.
That's exactly what happened to me. You know, I'm watching. I'm trying to emulate the players I grew up watching. All right, here's my hot dog moment. So it was during summer baseball camp.
Oh no!
This guy hits a line drive towards me in left field, and I'm running to the fence. And I'm thinking, all right, here's my Griffey moment. I reach out to catch it, and the ball sails over me, and I just backflip over the fence.
Wow!
Yep.
It was a mess.
That fence does not move.
Yeah.
Your body will react. That fence stay in the same spot. And that was, man, I'm not going to lie, like as a kid, I was like, please hit it so I can jump up on the fence and grab the ball, right? I want to do that.
Yeah.
But no, all right, so hand-eye coordination is integral when it comes to hitting.
Right.
But when it comes to fielding, tracking is everything.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to track that ball, because if not, you're going to end up with lots of black eyes. Oh, just pop, hit you right in the face, right? Lots of black eyes. Or you're going to miss the ball completely. You're going to underjudge, overjudge where you're supposed to go. So one of the best things, like that's why I like playing field, because I was fast. I can move quick, get to the ball, but I was good at tracking. So I would go get the ball. Man, I was good at it. I was real good at it. I loved it, because you get to go catch and throw, right?
Yeah.
But you got to have a good arm as well to play field. So that's why I liked it, because I had a pretty good arm. I had power to get it down. Not Bo Jackson power, but I had pretty good arm power. Bo Jackson was crazy.
I didn't have
Bo
that
Jackson
either.
was crazy. Bo Jackson threw somebody out.
Y'all remember when Bo Jackson had a cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pro stars.
Yeah.
Yep.
That man's amazing. He was different. He was Superman. He should have never.
Baseball was a little bit better promoted in the 90s, I think.
Yeah. It was. He should never play football.
Well, like you said, everything is politics. So, like, if it was started by black people, why would they keep promoting it?
Yeah.
It's phased out. Phase it on out.
They phased it. We got phased out on it, man. And I think, like, and with baseball, it's a gentleman's sport, too. And what I mean by that,
playing the game the right way, I can't stand that.
Say, look.
I think that's another reason why I think a lot of the younger black folks really aren't attracted to baseball, because they see that as showing up your opponent. That's the unwritten rule in baseball.
Swag.
You hit a home run.
No swag.
Yeah.
No swag.
If you hit a home run, you can't show up. You know.
The most you could do is flip a bat, and that's still considered bad. Try to hit a home run, right? And swag surf to the front, to the first base, and go around. No, you're supposed to. No, you ready? Not a real penalty, but you get penalized from the media, the other team, even your coach will talk trash when you get back to the ball. You jog that thing out around.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, the part of like the model of how you come up in baseball, you might be playing minors for a long
preach, because that's what I'm about. Yes.
And so then if you showing up in the minors, they're not going to bring you up to the majors. But you got an attitude problem.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Also, I was going to say, like, if you show off after you hit your home run, the pitcher, he's going to feel a way about it, despite the fact that he didn't do his job successfully.
Yep.
And he's going to throw the pitch and hit you with it.
Oh, you get
beat. To quote unquote teach you a lesson.
Right.
Yep. Oh, and it's fine in baseball. You can do that.
Well, getting fouled on a basketball court is one thing. Getting hit with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball in the shoulder is like...
Oh, you can kill somebody.
Yeah. You're getting mad at me for doing my job. Yeah. You should throw the pitches yourself for failing to do your job successfully.
Right.
That always rubbed me the wrong way.
And that's why you'll see people clear a bench.
Yeah, they'll clear a bench. You hit somebody with a ball, it's on purpose. Because, look, I'm telling you, these guys have so much control on pitching. There's technically not a reason they need to hit you in specific body parts. I can see if they hit you on your foot, ball drop, went wild, cool. But like stuff that goes directly at your head
you gotta
or
duck.
to the mid, that's on purpose. I play too much baseball. I know that's not what's.
That's like a mental.
Yeah, you're trying to hit me. And just speaking on this, and I think this is maybe one of these issues, and I want to get on this, is the length of time it takes for somebody to maturate in baseball. Way different from any other league. Yeah. You are not going to have many players coming from high school going into the pros. It's not something that occurs. Right. Every once in a while have your 2 out of 3 every 40 years that can go from high school to a minor, a quick stop, or college, and then go play farm league to go. And that's still like a 3-year process.
Yeah.
For you, and this is what I want you to tell them, is like that the change up that you have from playing the smaller league going up into the Dixie Youth League, how different the game was.
Yeah, because like I was in Dixie Youth, could tear the cover off the ball because all the pitchers were. Their main focus was to see how hard they could throw, how fast they could throw.
Just get it.
But once I got to the next level, which was Dixie Boys, they're throwing all like off-speed pitches, curveballs, splitters.
Skillful.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything. I went from batting second in the lineup to going down to ninth. I swear to you, I don't think I made contact on a single pitch for about a month and a half.
Oh, that hurts your confidence.
It hurt. It crushed it.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
My confidence was out the door.
Because you can't, again, baseball, you're by yourself on that plate.
Yeah.
There's nobody else there. They just watching you fail. And I know what you mean. Like, all right.
That is interesting because your offense is totally solo, and your defense is that team that you're trying to get that serendipity where everything lines up
That's
right.
why I love watching good dribble and double plays. But, yes, hitting in baseball is it can be one of the most stressful situations. That's why people hate off-speed pitches. That ball hangs and drops.
Yeah.
Doesn't get to, because it's all about timing. And depending on your hitting routine, some people's hitting routine actually sets them up for failure because they set themselves up for a specific timing that they're waiting for on a pitch. And if that pitcher's smart and they realize, and this is what he's talking about, strategizing that game that's going on within the game, you got a player that comes in, okay, this is a slugger here. He has this thing he does with his shoulder when he shimmies and then he's ready to swing. All right, so what we're going to do is you literally strategize against this pitcher, against this hitter. So when he comes in, he has no chance and doesn't realize he has no chance. And he's just swinging that air every time, swinging that air. And he gets angry, throws it back down, running in.
Could be a tremendously athletic person.
Athletic, yep.
But you just got their tick down and
boop,
boop.
gotcha.
I got his read.
It's just like Deion Sanders said. He said the hardest thing for him to ever do in sports was hit a baseball.
Everything else was easy.
Yeah.
He can return a punt for a touchdown, no problem. He can evade all 11 people on that field. But when it comes to doing that other thing, hitting a... What did he say? He said the ball is this big. He's like, big. He said the bat is this wide. He said you have to make those things contact.
And then control where it goes.
Shoot. And this is what people don't get, how skillful baseball players are. They can hit it where they want to hit it.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time. They're hitting it when you see them hit, unless it's a pitch that they're behind on, like they don't get into the pitch. If they get good contact, they're directing that pitch where it needs to go so that the runners, the base runners, can get where they need to go. Again, this is strategy with baseball. That's why it's like playing chess.
Yeah.
So if I have somebody who's on first I'm
you
not going to hit it to third base.
You're going to hit it
I'm going to hit it to where they're at so that they can get, and I can get to where I need to go to. I'm
Might
hit
sacrifice myself so third can get in.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why you have things like bunts and et cetera.
See, people
like,
don't know this, though.
It's a rich game. Why do you think they love it so much in Japan? Because they like strategy.
So, like, what's the conditioning like for baseball?
Die in the heat.
Yeah, this is funny. All right, so conditioning, and he could tell, because he played, right? Like, tell like what conditioning looks like, and I'll explain too, because I played too. It's not football conditioning.
Well, for me, our conditioning consisted of we basically just ran sprints.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
What?
Oh, what did I tell you? You could be 305 pounds and be a professional baseball
Babe Ruth
player.
was not a small man.
No, it wasn't. Have you ever seen this guy? All right, so very well-known player, Manny Ramirez. He came in shape. He left out. He wore the baggiest of baggy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because he was trying to look cool. It's because his physique was just. But his skill level was there. He could hit. He can play defense well. It was just in his spot that he needed to be in. Even during the steroid era, you saw a lot of this. You saw a lot of huge third basemen. Third base, you don't got to run nowhere. You're just holding that base
right
down
there.
and you're doing
Yeah.
a hit. That's it. That's all you're doing. And when you understand what position you're playing, you build your physique for that position. So most athletic positions you're going to have are going to be your fielders and that shortstop. Oh, my Lord. Shortstop is a crazy position. Yep. You got a fast twitch muscle, the ability to then fill in for the second baseman and move around, come up for the pitch. Like, you have to do a lot, and you're thinking a lot during the entire time. You're calling shifts on defense.
Yep.
You're like, shifts on defense? Yeah, there's shifts on defense. There's shifts in baseball. You're like, what? Yeah, you got to call. Like, so for instance, like we were talking about, this is getting nerdy stuff now just so they can hear.
Hey, let's nerd out.
So in baseball, when certain people hit, they have tendencies. Like I said, 162 games, you can pile a bunch of stats and information. You don't know where somebody likes to hit the ball based on their statistics. So what you do is you literally set the field up for them. So when it's time for somebody to come up, say, hey, this is a left-handed hitter. He likes to pull. So we're going to shift everybody over to the right side. Oh, this person likes to push out this way because they're slugging. This is their favorite sweet. That's what he likes to hit.
Sweet spot.
Yeah. Shift everybody over there. We are waiting for them. This person likes to hit grounders. They don't have a lot of power, and so they're usually gonna. We're gonna bring people up so we can be ready for it. Even if you have the way that the bases are set up, say you have certain people on certain bases, first, second, third, etc. You will then set up to be ready to run and turn plays. This is my favorite part. I love when you have two people on base, you got someone on coming to hit. I'm like, ooh, you see what defense is about to do. It's about to be fun. Because now you have a chance to turn a double or a triple play. And this is where your baseball IQ has to be high. Because you have to know as soon as that ball's hit, where you need to get it to based on the side of the field that you're getting it at, so that you can turn that play and hopefully get the outs that you need to end and save your pitcher from getting yelled at.
And they set defensive traps.
Oh, yes, they do.
They'll try to get you to put yourself out there a little bit and then close it back up.
Bam! Get you. And so, another thing, too, is like cat and mouse game about baseball is just like watching the runners attempt to get steals.
Yes.
Oh, like they cheat halfway?
Yeah. They're trying to run and steal a base.
Oh, yeah.
There's this real mythical thing about stealing home plate. You'll never really see people do it because darn near you shouldn't. It doesn't make sense. The percentage is not high.
So just first and second?
First, second, third. Yeah. I mean, not first, second, third. Second and third.
Second and third.
Yeah, you can't steal. Don't steal first base.
The pitcher's got to have balls.
She's looking at us. She's like, what are they talking about?
Why not?
Well, like the pitcher's got the ball and he's about to throw it to the catcher, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he can turn around and throw it to first base.
Right. Yeah. So you behind at second, you can go to third, but if he catches you at the side, then he right.
Okay.
And it also depends on where the other players are. So like if you're on second base, if you're on first base and you have somebody in second and they steal third, and then you want to try to steal second to move, and you have somebody hitting, you can get caught in between first and second base and get in what's called a pickle.
Oh.
This don't say baseball's so fun.
What other code words y'all got?
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Baseball got words that go back 100 years, man.
It's a very old sport.
Yeah.
So you're talking about something that's been around since 1800s.
And it was like a very local league sport that then got pushed national and became like this unified thing. But everybody it was like soccer. Everybody had their own set of rules at one point.
But enough of nerding now. I get to bother you some more about what you like about baseball. So could you tell our audience a little bit about how you became a fan of the team that you are a fan of? Because this is a very interesting story.
Sure. So I've been a Texas Rangers fan since 1993.
Okay.
And growing up here, this is like deep in the heart of Atlanta Braves country.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
And the biggest reason why I root for the teams I root for is because I didn't want to pick a team that everybody else was rooting for. So one day, my parents decided to put their nickels together and buy a satellite dish because where I lived was so rural, cable wasn't available.
Right.
So there was a TV station in Dallas. I can't remember the name of it, but every Saturday night they would have a Texas Rangers game of the week. And this was right around the time I became familiar with Nolan Ryan.
Oh, man.
And, he was a big deal. Because, he threw like 7 no-hitters.
Yeah.
And I had his card, and I looked at the back, and I'm like, this man had 5,700 strikeouts. Like, that is ridiculous.
Crazy.
And he happened to be pitching that night. He didn't have a particularly good outing, but I'll tell you, the one player that made me a fan was Julio Franco.
Talk about him.
Julio, that batting stance. It's like, he had a back I've never seen it. This was right before Sheffield.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, I've never seen anybody hold their bat like that.
Wait, do it again.
It was like this. Typically they have the bat on their shoulder like this.
You got it.
I was like, man, and he was just tearing the cover off the ball.
Yeah,
and he was a lot older than
he wasn't in his prime.
Yeah. So he was the man that made me a Texas Rangers fan, and it's been a love affair ever since.
Did you like the Rangers when George W. Bush was?
Yeah.
Didn't it? That's the best job he ever did.
Yeah.
I tell people this all the time.
They went to back-to-back World Series.
Yep.
Shout out to my dog, Ron Washington.
Go ahead. Nah, man, great look. I tell people I don't talk too much about that gentleman, but one thing I will say is he knows how to run a darn baseball organization.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Did a great job with him. So I'm just going to go my fault since he said it. I'm a Seattle Mariners fan. And I became a Seattle Mariners fan because, first of all, I was a fan of all Seattle sports, not football. So, basketball, baseball, Seattle fan. Brother tell you, since I was a little kid.
Yes.
Sean Kemp, Gary Payton.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
Edgar Martinez. Okay, this is me. You know, Randy Johnson. This is what I'm watching, right?
Jay
Growing up.
Buhner.
Like, yeah, Jay. Come on. I used to be playing the little Golden Glove game. Like, wait, Jay Buhner. And people come like, y'all really sitting here playing this game?
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, this is fun. They look, I'm like little kids. What's wrong with y'all? No, this is fun, right? So that's what I grew up. I was a fan of. And then, of course, lost my basketball team. Sadly, they stole them. But my baseball team stayed. And the one thing that did make me sad about my team is that technically, like, Seattle Week became a farm league team for other organizations with bigger dollars.
Yeah.
And this is another thing with baseball is the money game. Money aspect's totally different. You can't have inequality in baseball.
Absolutely.
And so, like, we would get these great players that would come in, and as they would develop, even like right now, I'm scared. We can't keep them. They will pay them money to leave. And so we lost a lot of our talent to other organizations, specifically the Yankees. They real good.
They pay you to leave.
Child, baseball is a...
Look,
all right, so...
Your contract's an asset. They straight buy it out and move you over. And
it's like soccer.
You know, yeah, I was going to say, it feels a lot like European soccer.
European soccer, yeah. And this is just so you understand, because you got to imagine, these folks, like you were saying, the way that baseball works is you start from your normal youth leagues. You play in normally high school, et cetera, may do travel team. You go to college, and then you're going to play minor league. And then you got different types of minor league. You got your AAA, and et cetera. You may stay there for a while before you get the chance to actually get to the major league. You may be on a 10-year journey, 8-year journey, right? By the time you get to major leagues, if you hit that spot where someone thinks you are worth it, you're taking their money because you've worked such a long time to earn real capital. And so I can't even be angry at them when it comes to some of that, because I understand, like, you worked so long for a payday. It's not like these guys coming out of high school, staying 1 year in college, going straight to the NBA, I'm getting paid $53 million.
Right.
No, that's not happening.
Right.
You paid your dues.
You think that's a disconnect right there, though?
Yeah, because a
That's
lot
a
of these
barrier?
guys, you can't, remember what he said, the cost.
Yeah.
The cost of baseball, upkeep, maintaining your equipment is so expensive that for you to do it, you have to have a really good family system backing you up. Why do you think Patrick Mahomes don't play baseball? Why do you think Russell Wilson don't play baseball? They were good.
Oh, wow.
They don't play baseball because it didn't pay immediately.
Right.
And it's expensive. So they went to this sport that would pay them sooner.
Well, and then if you get an injury,
oh, yeah.
if your career's over in your second year of the minors, like, well, that was a long waste.
Long waste.
Whereas, the NFL, I might...
You can come back. You can do a comeback.
Or,
3
just
years
look
ago.
at that Gatorade's giving me a big-ass check that they're going to have an
Endorsements.
insured policy on, and it pays out whether I get killed or not. Like,
Gosh, I get killed or not. But
What's the endorsements like for baseball?
you got great endorsement. I would say this, and you see if you agree with me on this. I think baseball endorsements are very consistent, meaning some of these endorsements have been around before I was born, and they're steady. So if you can get an endorsement, this is the big thing, if you can get one.
That's the thing, is I think the steroid are scared the hell out of everybody, because you don't want to back a player that it comes out that all of these records they were smashing are now void.
Ready? We had this issue recently. Well, man, he's run into issues with steroids. Great player. He was on the front of the cover for MLB The Show.
He sure
was. He had young
And
kids
had a
wanting to
marketing.
play. And he had young kids
marketable
wanting to
face.
play baseball.
Yeah.
Because young kids would tell me about it. Like, yeah, you got cool hair and stuff like that. And they would tell me, because I thought, like, I have folks that I work with. They have young kids that play baseball. Matter of fact, I was telling my brother, one of the folks that I work with, one of her friends, his son's actually getting called up to play for the Blue Jays, pitcher, left-handed.
No kidding.
Getting called up, and I was like, yeah, you're left-handed, you're going to be looking good.
Yeah.
And her other son already plays minor league, but one of the things that they were like, yo, I like these young players out here. And she was just talking about how the kids like their haircuts, and they'll get their haircut, and they want to go out and play, and they're so pumped about it. And then he got hit, popped for steroids. And now he has to sit out. And the Saint, like, their rulings and judgments on steroids right now are extreme, man.
Yeah.
So you'll miss a whole season, depending on what you were doing. A whole chunk of a season. And what that does is now your visibility is going
Down.
That's a good point.
Visibility is going. And so we lose, like, a lot of that draw into the sport gets taken away. Hurts feelings, man. Hurts feelings, man. I was so angry at that. Oh, they're playing my LB.
Yeah.
I stopped playing it. Hurt my feelings. I just stopped playing it. I had my little player up there doing his thing, too. Stop playing with it. Gosh. But then again, like my brother, I was like, man, I still love baseball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'm still going to watch it.
Yeah.
It's almost like the NFL. I hate to say this, NFL, when people were saying the Kaepernick thing, say don't watch NFL.
Yeah.
Just thinking my little game every once in a while and turn it off when my wife come in.
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
It's still getting me, man. They still getting me.
So how did you get into podcasting?
Yes.
So I was doing a series of guest appearances on other people's podcasts. I got to shout out the Board Meeting Podcast.
Go ahead.
Two brothers.
Go
They
ahead.
were out of Columbia.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gerard Droz and Mike Holloman.
Nice.
And I mean, they're on hiatus right now, but they invited me on to do a podcast. First one I did was we did a Thanksgiving plate draft.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was a
Switching
lot
it
of
up.
fun. Yeah, so I got bit by the bug, and then they started inviting me back on their podcast to do more appearances.
Yeah.
And I was sharing the link with my friends and stuff, and then they were like giving me a bunch of good feedback, and they were like, "So when are you going to start your podcast? You already did a slew of guest appearances." I'm like, not really my thing. I'm the lefty they call out the bullpen whenever they need me, just to keep the baseball theme going.
Yeah.
But it was around 2022, I started getting that itching to start my own podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I want to do this podcast, but I don't know what to do it about. So my thing was look to see what everybody else is doing and do something different.
Smart.
Like, everybody's talking about current events. Everybody's talking about, like, the hot button topics. $200 dates. What a woman should do for her man.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
Lord.
the podcast arena is rife with that.
It
I was
really
like,
is.
nah.
Yeah.
Hey, so the checkout line at the grocery store
Stop
is now
playing with-
what the podcast world is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's
I
really
saw a
is.
post the other
aliens,
day.
ghosts, what you need to do to keep your spouse
Yeah.
happy. And
Yeah.
That's what Inquiry Cosmo. Go ahead.
But I was like, I was on Twitter one day, and I started noticing all of my black friends were into baseball as much as I was. And then on top of that, I started realizing all of them rooted for different teams. So I'm like, the light bulb went off. I'm like, I think I might have something with this baseball podcast. So around September 2022, I started reaching out to all my Twitter friends via DM, telling them what my intentions was. I said, I'm going to start a podcast, a baseball podcast, and I would love to have you on to talk about your team and like how you fell in love with the sport. And all of them said yes. I'm like, okay, I got
Nice.
something.
Nice.
So that's how I started that one. And then the other one, I just wanted to make it just like general discussion / childhood anecdotes and just talking about stuff people can relate to for the Since We Last Spoke podcast. Like, I talked about losing a grandmother. I talked about getting a colonoscopy. I talked about...
Wow.
No, you're
Wow.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about how I deal with anxiety.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to beat them over to death with serious stuff. So I'll mix in some lighthearted things too. Just like the same two guys I was talking about, they had me on to do the draft, the Thanksgiving plate draft. They also had me on to do these tournaments. We did like hip hop one hit wonder tournaments and stuff. So I figured
You put them against each other, they go on that.
yeah, so I figured I liked that idea, and I figured I'd keep it going on my podcast, and then I would bring them on my podcast to do a tournament. So we did a Wu-Tang solo album tournament. We did a fast food French fries tournament, a snack chips tournament. I had 2 other guests on. We did a real world cast members tournament.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's dope, man.
This is so cool.
Mother's Day, I had my mom on for my Mother's Day episode.
Yeah,
I had my dad on for a Father's Day episode. And it was so cool hearing their accounts of, like, hearing how they met and just learning a whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't privy to.
Yeah.
And, having had them back on to talk about caretaking for a parent that was suffering from dementia.
Yeah.
And just give them their firsthand account and the amount of feedback I got from that episode.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like,
we don't get to
people-
talk about that.
Yeah, because people hitting me up like, I'm going through the same thing. And that podcast, thank you for putting that out because it was so informative. And I'm like, man, if, I found my lane. If I can help out one person that's going through this similar situation, I feel like I did my job. But it's been so much fun.
That's good. He's collaborating with people, cross-collaborating.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He spoke to somebody, too, that we know very well. Dr. Napoleon Wells.
Yeah.
I thought it was so
That's so cool.
man.
Yeah,
We're going to have to do an event.
Yeah, we're going to have to do an event.
Invite everybody.
Because like when you were
A little
coming
mix-up.
in, you were leaving out, and you're like, hey, I know who you are. And I'm like, yeah, we know all these people.
We
You
have
should-
to.
And it doesn't even have to be our event. I just want it to be an event where
Everybody can
folks-
come together.
Everybody's
Yeah.
event.
Yeah,
I just help
everybody's
organize it.
event.
I got to give all the credit to the unofficial official mayor of Columbia, Priest Jacobs.
Yeah.
He's really the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah, he really does.
I mean,
6 degrees
And if y'all have
separation
not
us
checking
all.
out
Yes.
Soul House,
Yeah, man.
check
Yeah,
out Soul House.
please.
Support local galleries.
Please.
Support local galleries that support local artists.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
and events. You know, this is a big thing. If we want to have fun things going on, we got to do them.
Yeah, we got to do them for ourselves.
Show
So
them.
do
Make
you
sure
have
it's
anything
support.
coming up
Yeah.
that we can help you promote, or
I don't have anything. Really
Just your
coming up.
episodes?
Yeah, just my episodes.
When
So
do
you know
they
what
drop?
you got to do. Yeah. We
Yeah.
got
So how do we find your podcast?
Yeah.
You can find my podcast on all streaming platforms. The baseball podcast is called At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. The other podcast is called Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth. You can find them again on all streaming
Easy to
platforms.
find.
You can subscribe to my YouTube channel is at Danny Foxworth 843, and you can find all the video versions of my podcast episodes on there.
okay?
Yeah.
Oh, one last thing before we get off. My man from ABC4.
Dean
Sport-
Stevens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old is Dean Stevens?
He's 60.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Dang, he look good. He take good care of himself.
He does.
Because he was telling a story about him at the what was it, the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And when he said what All-Star game it was, I
It was
said,
like 1980.
yeah, I was like,
whoa,
bruh.
Wait a minute now.
How did you do that? I'm looking at him, I'm like, no, because I've lived in Charleston for a while, and I'm watching him on TV, I'm looking at him, I'm like, how old is he gotta be?
You doing the math in your
that was
head.
amazing. I love that episode. I like y'all conversation.
Thank
How
you.
did that,
Bro.
I'm gonna leave you alone after this, but how did you get in contact with
It's
him?
so wild, bro. It was last year. I made a tweet talking about my sobriety because I had just went 19 years sober, and
Congratulations on that.
appreciate you, man. It'll be 20 years May 13th. I still can't wrap my mind around that. But when I made the tweet, he left a comment because he is also sober, which I didn't know. And then, we were following each other on Twitter, and I mean, it wasn't like buddy or anything like that.
Yeah.
He would just leave a comment or like a tweet once in a blue moon, and then all of a sudden, he hits me up in the DM one day. Like, it's like about 15 minutes before I'm about to clock out of work.
Yeah.
And he just hits me up just on the humble. Hey, this is Dean Stevens. I'm in my car driving right now. Would love to talk to you. Here's my number. Big fan of your podcast. I'm like,
Wow.
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 This is a
looking
prank.
around like,
Is this a
Nah,
prank?
it's
Me?
a fake.
hey,
This
bro.
is fake.
No.
He probably listens to the thing and just hits you up right then.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, dude, what is life right now? So I clock out, I sit in the car, I call the number, and we talk for probably an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was talking about his favorite episodes. I'm like, bro, what is going
You
on?
really
Like,
listening to
Don't
my
that
episode?
make you feel good?
This is the guy I grew up watching
That's
doing
before,
sports on the
see?
6 o'clock news.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And he's listening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, which way is up? And so after we get through talking, he was like, man, I'd love to catch up with you. And then after he left the news world,
Yeah.
he became the director of this program called Wake Up Carolina. It's like a drug treatment facility in Moncks Corner. And he's the director of development there. And then one day he hits me up he texts me right before I'm about to go to lunch. Gosh, this was probably 3 weeks ago. He's like, I'm in town. Let's do lunch. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
Cool,
and
yeah.
sure enough, we got lunch and we just shared our sobriety stories. And then I was like, man, I got to get you on the podcast. He was like,
Only makes sense.
He was like,
Only
let's
makes
do it.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So had him on. We recorded last Tuesday, and he was like, "Well, I want to talk about the sobriety stuff, but I want to talk baseball too." I was like, "Well, look,
That's so
after we
dope.
finish
We got
doing
two
since
brothers.
after we
I
finish
was trying
doing
to figure
since
out
we
why they
last
were
spoke,
two. Yeah, that makes sense now.
After we finish doing since we last spoke, then we'll do At the Plate, and
That's so cool.
I didn't even tell him, and he didn't tell me that after we finished doing since we last spoke, we were going to do a wardrobe change. He was like, "Give me 5 minutes." I was like, "All right, I'll get 5
He
minutes."
was prepared.
Yeah, I was like, man, we
right,
were on
don't
we
say
were on
that.
the
You're making
same wave.
Tamaya's day
We
right
were on the
now.
same wavelength. I'm
Yeah.
like, he had his Astros gear on. I had on my Rangers
That's
gear.
so
I'm like,
funny.
that's
See?
my dog.
Be quiet.
This is meant to be.
Now I gotta start doing wardrobe changes.
Yes.
At least.
Yeah, so where can everybody find you
Yeah.
on social media?
You can find me on IG at Danny Foxworth 843, and you can find me on Twitter at Danny Foxworth, but it's spelled a little different. It's FOXWRTH
Okay.
Excellent.
843.
Well, this is an excellent episode. I
Yeah.
appreciate you being with us today.
You're going to have to have him on your podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to have to come
Yes.
on your podcast.
Yes.
That's what makes sense. Yes, I can come and nerd out about some
So I
baseball.
don't think I had him. Well, I think I had a Mariners fan, but it was one of the
few and far
early
between over here.
episodes. So you definitely got an
far
Who's
between
Kevin's
over here.
team?
Huh?
Who's Kevin's team? He with you on the Mariners, or he's still?
Nah, he wasn't with me on no Mariners. You know, he knows Seattle. He don't like no Seattle.
What's
If
his
anything,
team?
he was just following Barry Bonds and stuff. He don't really too much on the baseball like me.
Oh, really?
Not like following a specific team. I was crazy. I had problems.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to get you on the pod, man.
Please do. But this is DJ and What with the Hilltop Podcast.
I'm Mike.
Tamaya.
And our esteemed guest,
Danny Foxworth.
Thank you so much for being with us. If you're next to somebody that you know you love, if you aren't, go find somebody. Tell them that you love and you appreciate them. And until the next time, peace.
The Hilltop Glove Podcast.